Toscana. Mwah! The region of romance.
Beautiful countryside.
Pasta.
And wine.
But was it all that we'd hoped for? We'll keep it a buck in the review. Welcome to Abroad with the Burrells, a channel for travelers by travelers. I'm Coleman.
And I'm Jamie.
Don't forget to subscribe. It only takes 1 second, and make sure you hit that bell for notifications. Today we're going to be talking about the region of Tuscany. When going to Italy, we decided we wanted that real, authentic, rustic Tuscan charm. And so we headquartered in the Tuscan countryside in a town called Montespertoli.
We stayed in an agriturismo, which is really a converted farm or vineyard.
When choosing an agriturismo, we decided to go with a place called Fattoria Poggio Caponi, and it was a beautiful, beautiful destination. Absolutely breathtaking views. The property was one of a kind. Just pulled into our Tuscan agriturismo apartment.
Huh. We're walking in.
Yeah. Take us on a tour, my dear.
Alright, here's our Tuscan apartment for the week. Kitchen, dining area. Living room with TV, cable. And then we have the upstairs.
Hi, Brooklyn.
So here's the master bedroom with AC, which is really important, especially during these hot summer months. The little crib they provided for the baby. And the bathroom. And second guest room. Probably where we're going to be setting up the baby, because she does better sleeping alone.
That's true.
When mommy and daddy are there, she thinks it's time to play.
Yeah.
So we'll probably set her crib up in here.
Get used to your new digs.
All right. All right.
Feel good, Zoo?
I love getting your ears clean.
That feel good? That feels good, huh?
Other side.
She's not moving. It has that world famous rustic Tuscan charm to it.
Olive trees everywhere. Just gorgeous, gorgeous location.
Complete with a swimming pool.
Ciao, Papa.
And one of the benefits of staying in an agriturismo is you get an experience that you won't necessarily have if you stay in a major city in Tuscany. You're able to stay in close proximity with other travelers. Our agriturismo offered a dinner night. They chose a night in the middle of the week where you kind of get dressed for the occasion. They set tables out for everyone, and you come together as a community and you share a traditional Italian dinner. All right, tonight is dinner night here at the agriturismo. As you can see, they have all the tables set up, and in great anticipation of all of the guests coming out for a great dinner on a Wednesday night. So look forward to that. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Ciao.
Ciao. They served several courses. They served wine. We met some awesome people. This is my man, Ola.
Yeah, I am Ole.
Yeah,
From Denmark.
all the way from
Amazing.
Denmark, representing. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
You're on YouTube now. Yeah, he's on YouTube now. All you guys. Prosciutto. Prosciutto.
Here.
And salami, and all types of cheeses, and of course great Italian wines. Second course of the meal. Treating you okay?
Mine's already halfway gone.
Everybody's good?
I need more wine, actually. Commercial coming up.
That's right. Ice cream and fruit.
Yeah.
Apparently that is commonplace throughout Europe.
Yeah, it
So we're gonna go in and give that a shot. And we hit it off really well with them, and we continue to stay in touch with them to this day.
To this day. To this day.
But that dinner night was an unforgettable experience, and it was something very unique. Other things that our agriturismo offered is a horse-drawn carriage ride through the vineyards.
Brooklyn, your first horse carriage ride.
And it was right at sunset, and we had the baby with us, and it was just a nice family thing to do while we were there. So now that you know where we were headquartered, let's get straight into those must-dos. Number one, and this goes without say, enjoy the Tuscan countryside.
So beautiful.
Beauty that is just breathtaking. Obviously the cypress trees, the sprawling vineyards, the sun-baked land, rolling hills, rustic stone cottages with slate roofs.
There's a reason why Hollywood films movies there. I mean, it's so gorgeous and the beauty is just undeniable.
Yes.
So make sure you're enjoying it. And renting a car allowed us to really do that because
Yes.
we're able to go at our own pace. All right, honey, what are we doing?
All right, we're gonna make our way through Tuscany, Toscana, to our agriturismo.
What are some of the places we're going to be going?
San Gimignano, back to Firenze.
Siena.
Siena. It's about to be cracking.
You have entered a speed control zone.
Thank you, GPS. We were able to just drive from town to town, and we didn't have to worry about being stuck on a train
Yes.
or a bus where we couldn't see or appreciate it the way we did with a car. There were times we would just pull over, take some pictures, literally just in the middle of nowhere because it was so pretty, and having the car gave us that flexibility.
Yes.
One of those towns that we visited was San Gimignano. Now, we went there a couple times. One time we drove there ourselves, but another time we saw it through the wine tour that we took. Get to that in a second. But San Gimignano, cute little town. It is very well known at this point, so, you know, it's a huge tourist attraction. We walked around, we ate gelato, took some pictures. We definitely got the history because we were with the tour guide.
Towers of San Gimignano. So they say they built another tower next to the first tower just to show the powerful of the family. Also funny legend because they say the Japanese architect who designed the World War Trade Center of New York, he was inspired from the twin towers of San Gimignano. So
Wow.
I find it like very interesting story.
That's
about
really
the-
cool.
One made by steel and glasses, but it's made by stones.
Yes.
But also funny thing because you can't really see, but the left tower is slightly smaller than the right tower. The same was New York actually. Yeah. No, because one tower in New York has also the antenna, and one didn't have it. So it was taller, actually.
Wow.
That's right. Yeah.
Then also they need back in time the towers for protection, not only for show up, not only for the reason to give you the status to the family.
It's just an adorable little medieval village to visit.
And what makes it special, I mean, these old medieval villages, they were hilltop towns. Obviously, in those days, you would build your village on top of a hill so that you had a defensive advantage strategically. So that adds in modern days to the charm of these villages. They're just these fortress-type villages that look like they come out of a fairy tale, if we're being honest about it.
With our car, we also drove to Siena. We made a day trip of that.
Siena, very famous, as you guys all know, most notably for the Piazza del Campo. If you get to Siena, we highly recommend having dinner there in that piazza. Go to the plaza, sit down, and enjoy the day. We got there and we just laid out. Siena. It's pretty great. Piazza del Campo.
Just had dinner.
Great. Not a complaint in the world. Just hanging out in the piazza. Oh, Brooklyn's here too. Say hi. Ah, gaga.
Ciao.
Ciao. Brooklyn was able to get out and crawl around. Really felt like, wow, I'm in the heart of Italy. I'm in the heart of Tuscany, under the beautiful sun of summer, you know, enjoying this time with, you know, the most special people in my life. So that experience is forever burned in my brain.
So another must-do that we strongly encourage is taking a wine tour. Tuscany is known for its wines. We did our wine tour with a company called Fun in Tuscany, and the thing that we loved about it was that it was family friendly, and so we were able to take Brooklyn along and it was no issue whatsoever.
The cool thing about our wine tour is that the tour ended with a full course meal and also wine etiquette. They taught us how to hold the glass, how to swish the wine, how to smell the wine.
I'll put the back corner over here.
As you prefer.
Okay.
Mi casa es tu casa.
Hey.
If you're able. And always use the non-dominant hand. 3 fingers from the stem, pick it up. Pass it to your right hand. 3 fingers on the bottom, index and thumb, like this. Okay, perfect. This is the more stable way to hold it. Then, if you want to be professional, you hold it like this. But to begin, this one is not bad. Now, you should feel the glass more stable into your hand. Compared to when you hold it like this, you feel that the balance is better. So, now, let's smell the wine as we usually do. Apart from grape and wine, can you smell anything else? No? Absolutely normal. Now try, put mouth and nose. You feel a little bit more flavor, maybe a generic fruity flavor, but you cannot tell the flavors, correct? Absolutely normal, because it needs to breathe, like the red wine. Now, let's start swirling the wine for 10 seconds. Don't be shy with the glass. Great job. You too. Absolutely. Great there.
But it was really fun to learn it and to use it at the time, and we've actually been the star of quite a few dinner parties since then, sharing our very fancy, knowledgeable wine tricks.
I don't know about that, but yes. All right, so this is probably my favorite must-do. When in Tuscany, you must spend time in Florence.
It's the crown jewel of Italy. We're just gonna be honest, of northern Italy at least.
Oh man, I was pleasantly surprised when we came across Florence. Now, I've had several friends go there. They've told me how great it is, but I wasn't really looking forward to it. Let me tell you, we were in Tuscany for 6 nights. We drove into Florence 4 of those days to spend time because we just fell in love with Florence.
Yes. Florence, you win.
You are
sorry.
number 1.
We've been to Rome and Venice and Cinque Terre and Genoa. We've been to a lot of great places in Italy, and Florence wins hands down.
Gold medal.
Let's start with what Florence is probably most famous for, and that is the Renaissance artist Michelangelo, and of course his world famous masterpiece David. David is housed in the Galleria dell'Accademia. It is a very actually small museum. There the David is on display. It is huge, massive, a lot bigger than I expected. I've seen it in textbooks all these years, and to see it in person, it was just dominating the hallway, which was really cool. But also housed in that museum are other works by Michelangelo that are great to see. And what was intriguing to me was there were a lot of his unfinished works there. It was kind of cool to see the process of an artist, the process they go through before they reach the stage of that masterpiece. And on the subject of museums, also there in Florence is the Uffizi Gallery. A lot bigger, and it takes hours to get through it. And we really enjoyed this one as well.
Yes.
Long hallways full of just dynamic artwork. Of course, there's a guided audio tour there, and we just lost track of time looking at some of the world famous masterpieces that are on display there. Many of which even the casual art observer will be fully aware of. And another world famous Florentine landmark is the Cathedral di Santa Maria del Fiore, affectionately known as the Duomo. It was begun in 1296 by Arnolfo di Cambio and completed in the late 15th century by Brunelleschi, most notably for the huge dome on top of the structure. And at the time it was an absolute architectural marvel. There had never been a dome built that wide or that high, and they had the hardest time figuring out how to construct it so that it would support its own weight, and Brunelleschi came up with an ingenious system in order for it to do so. All right, going up to the Duomo. Brooklyn, you ready for the Duomo? She never shows excitement. It's as if she doesn't understand that Brunelleschi built that during the time of the Medicis.
I do not understand that.
Don't you understand the, technological, architectural masterpiece that we're about to go see? She's uncultured. You must be aware, the hike to the top is some work and is gonna require some fitness. There is no elevator access. Ain't no step for some steppers like us, huh? We done did Lion Rock. We done did... What else have we done? We done did a lot of stuff. Still going, second leg?
Yep,
Out of breath yet?
a little bit.
Ascending the Duomo. It is no joke, it's quite a walk.
463 stairs.
Alrighty. Ain't no step for some steppers like us. I'm Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, where are you? Say inside the Duomo. Fun.
Yeah. So, on the top of the Duomo.
Is that a zoom lens right in my
Nope.
face? Oh.
Oh, no. And someone decided it was lunchtime. So that's that.
She worked up quite the appetite climbing all those stairs, Daddy.
And it's not very well ventilated, so prepare to be sweating your butt off. What are you gonna say?
This guy did it with a baby strapped to his chest.
Strap Brooklyn to the chest, just like Hong Kong up to Lion Rock. If you haven't seen the Hong Kong video, here's a shameless plug. Yay!
We made it. Top of Lion Rock.
The work is worth it because when you reach the top of the Duomo, you are rewarded with astounding views. And while we're on the subject of views, you have to visit the Piazza Michelangelo. It's a little bit outside of the city center, but talk about having great views of the city. It's totally worth your while. So if you don't want to wait in lines for museums in Florence and you want to see great artwork, we have the perfect place for you. The Piazza della Signoria, also home of the Palazzo Vecchio. Beautiful place to go and see open art. It is like an open air museum. There on display is a beautiful replica of Michelangelo's David, along with other very famous works that are just standing there and you can see in passing.
Another must-do is visit the Central Market. It's almost like a giant food court, and there's just several different stalls, very affordable. But we went there a few different times and were able to try different meals. I mean, there are a ton of different things you can try. Pizza, pasta dishes, desserts. They have a bar in the center where you can order different local brews or wine, either one. They had a deli where you could see them slicing the meat fresh. It's a really cool place. I strongly recommend. And just open seating, find a spot to sit.
And the cool thing is we met some really cool people while we were there. Brooklyn made a lot of friends while she was there.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the big
always makes friends everywhere.
She's
we
always
go.
the star of the show. We take the back seat.
No matter where you are in Italy, you gotta eat gelato. Italian gelato, there's just something about it. It is delicious.
Special.
I mean, you can eat it every day if you wanted to.
Or twice a day.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Don't judge. One of our favorite places in Florence to eat it was called Perché or
Perché or perché no? Perché no or perché no? We're not sure. We don't speak
Italian. Let us know. It was to die for.
Yes.
So amazing. So we're eating gelato for a second time at our favorite place, Perché no. What'd you get, honey?
Pistachio. A double.
Yeah?
And
Is that good, huh?
Yes. I thought that gelato in Italy would be overhyped. And I'm here to tell you there's nothing overhyped about it. It lives up to the hype entirely.
And I got rose flavored, which I was actually kind of surprised. I sampled it first just out of curiosity, and I really enjoyed it, so I actually ended up getting that and cantaloupe, or in Italian, melon. Both highly recommended.
Isn't that how you say friend in Elvish? Melon.
What's the Elvish word for friend?
Melon.
Yeah. Good connection there. 10 points. Next must do. Walk across the Ponte Vecchio.
Yes.
So Ponte Vecchio just means old bridge. It used to be full of butcher shops. Now those storefronts are taken over by jewelry stores. So very crowded, lots of people. Buying jewelry abroad isn't really our thing, but you know, there are a lot of people that go to places for that stuff.
And it's cool. It's a medieval covered bridge. And
Yes.
you just don't see a lot of those every day.
Take a stroll along the Arno River. It flows through Florence and it's just very nice, easy to stroll. You're gonna probably stroll it by accident because it's central to everything. On one side of the river, you have the city center where these museums and everything we've been talking about are located. On the other side of the river is the Ultra Arno, which is where you'll find more of the locals.
Also, we'd like to add that we found restaurants were a little bit more of a bargain if you were eating in the Ultra Arno as opposed to in the main city center. One such restaurant that we would love to give a shout out because they treated us so very well and the food was delicious. We're at PT Express with our very generous host, Samuel. And he's been fantastic with everything. Make sure you stop in here if you're ever in Florence. Yeah. And grab a bite to eat. Great paninis of all different types. Homemade lasagna from Mama herself. So please do. Also, bottles of wine and glasses of wine for an extremely reasonable price for everything that we've seen. So this is a must-do for your trip to Firenze. So we told you about the must-dos, and as always, we need to warn you and let you know of the things to be aware of when you're in Tuscany.
So it is important to buy your tickets in advance, especially to all these big museums, because the lines are atrocious, especially during the hot summer months. You don't want to be standing out in the heat, in line. You could be up there for a couple hours. So we bought our tickets in advance. We knew what museums we wanted to go to.
And we skipped right to the front of the line every time.
Every time. And it was so nice. It saved us time.
All right, honey, good job. And we're in, quick and easy.
And it was just convenient in every way you can think.
Another thing to be aware of, if you're in Florence, of course, you're going to be getting gelato, as we mentioned earlier. And just a little tip and trick that we were taught while we were there. Make sure you don't eat the big fluffy stuff that's piled up high. That is designed to pull tourists in because it looks pretty and intriguing. But we learned there's a lot of additives in there, a lot of unnatural ingredients. But the most purest form of gelato is the stuff that's flat, that does not have a lot of decorations and drizzles and sprinkles on it. It looks kind of boring, but it is the best tasting gelato that you can find. Go for the flat stuff. not the fluffy stuff.
If you do choose to stay at an agriturismo, we strongly recommend doing a lot of research. Looking back on our entire trip, we wish we would have stayed and headquartered in Florence. For one, there's not a lot of energy, not a lot of people there. We like a little bit more of the action and the energy. Even though we love kicking back, it was just too quiet for us. Everything closed very early, so we're stuck out in the countryside. There's no restaurant at our agriturismo. There's no place to eat. There's not a lot of amenities.
Right. We couldn't even order anything in.
No.
Nothing. So we had to go into Florence to get all the things that we needed.
All right, so since we're staying in our agriturismo, it's like an apartment, so we're just at the grocery store getting a couple things to have at the spot because there's not actual restaurants or anything there. But we just thought it was super cool. These are the small baskets, but instead of having to carry it with your hand all day, it actually wheels like a regular big basket. Pretty cool.
So this is not a knock on agriturismos. We're just saying our particular one that we chose.
We do want to start off by saying this was our experience. You might have had a different experience, and that's fine, but we're going to keep it real because, you know, this is what it's all about.
So this experience removed some of the luster off of the trip for us. Generally speaking, we ran into a lot of very rude and inconsiderate Italian people. We just did. And I would say 98% of the places in the world we've been treated very kindly. And in Italy, I don't want to cast a blanket statement. We met a lot of great people in Italy, but it wasn't just us. We ran into a lot of tourists and had a lot of conversations with people on vacation in Italy that just relayed similar stories to ours. Matter of fact, I remember one train ride in particular where there was a group of us around and we were just bouncing stories off of each other. A family from Australia, a family from the USA like us, a family from South America. In different spots in Italy, we kept running into people that said, geez, the people here are just rude. I remember one time we were taking a train and the train stopped and it was packed to capacity. The door opened and the family from South America, their luggage fell out of the train. And the father was scrambling trying to pick it up. And the Italians were stepping right over him. I mean, not even giving a helping hand. They were looking at him as if they were annoyed, just stepping right over him. They were actually encumbering him from being able to pick up his stuff. All the tourists on the train ran to give him a hand. We all ran and picked his stuff up and helped him and brought everything back on the train, and he thanked us profusely. And I remember he looked at us and he said, this kind of stuff's been happening to me the entire time that I've been here.
With the rudeness, we personally experienced a lot of racism. I'm gonna be honest with you, we were at a restaurant out in the Tuscan countryside, and one of the restaurants, they refused to serve him his dinner. Now, you know, they had every excuse in the book, but I got my dinner, everyone around us got their dinner, and 2 hours go by and they refused to serve him. And it's a huge ordeal. We're not going to get into the details of it. Now, we did see the racism a little more in the countryside. When we got to Florence, it was a lot better, but there was still some rudeness. And we just saw that, I'm not kidding you, every single day something like this happened. Where I looked at him and I was like, what is going on? Yeah. We're having a fantastic day, having the time of our life. We're on vacation. It's a beautiful place, beautiful country. And boom, every single day something like that happened. And we looked at each other and we're like,
these people are off the hook.
What is going on? I don't think we've ever had a bigger thing to be aware of on any of our videos than this. Now, when we were talking to other tourists, or if it was just me, Coleman, and Brooklyn, we were having the time of our lives. But more often than not, we came into someone that had something negative to do or say.
And that may not be your experience, but that was ours. So that's going to do it for our review of Tuscany. Hopefully we were able to get you excited for an upcoming trip and help you to avoid some pitfalls that you may have otherwise been unaware of. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you can see all of our content. Check out any of our other videos about traveling if you're going to be going anywhere else in the world. Hopefully we'll be able to help you out. Don't forget, traveling is not just about the destination, but of course who you share it with. From our family, the Burrells, to yours, we would like to encourage you to get out there, make it happen,
And have fun.
have fun. Thanks for watching, guys.
Jinx.
Jinx.
I think Jinx.